of our life. And as Catholics, history intersects our faith. Today's feast of Our Lady of Victory is a most prime example of that. Today, as we celebrate the giving of the rosary to us, it was actually, the occasion for this feast was actually a historical event. On October the 7th, 1571, there was a great armada, a great fleet of ships sailing from northern Africa towards the Mediterranean Sea. These were the naval army of the Ottoman Empire. They were all Muslim, and they were headed towards southern Europe. Pope Pius V knew that they were coming, and he knew the repercussions of what would happen if the Muslims infiltrated into the southern part of Europe. And so he knew that our civilization as a Christian world was at stake. And so he called together all the Catholic armies, naval armies, to come assist. Unfortunately, they were very few in number. And so, what do? When you are desperate? You call for the help of heaven. And so Pope Pius V called out to all the Catholics throughout Europe, and to especially the Catholics in Rome. He told that all the churches in Rome needed to be to stay open 24/7 for a period of intense prayer, so that people could pray the rosary, asking for the help of the Blessed Virgin Mary. On October 7, 1571, our puny Catholic naval army set sail, and they were encountered by this huge, vast armada of Ottomans. However, literally, the winds changed. And it became a disadvantage to the Ottomans. And the little tiny army of Catholic ships was able to chase away the Ottomans. Historians will tell you that that event in 1571 has changed the history of Europe. Because right now, if you go to Europe, unfortunately, they're not practicing the faith, but if you go to Europe, it's predominantly all the things that you see there, they're all Catholic. But if in 1571, those Ottomans would have been able to infiltrate down there, many of us might not even be here, because there might not have been any missionaries left to bring the faith in Europe to the new land. And so today, the feast that we celebrate, and it's a feast of our diocese. After the Catholic naval army won, Pope Pius V gave Our Lady the title Our Lady of Victory, and our cathedral is named after that. And so this is the diocesan feast for our Diocese of Victoria, Our Lady of Victory. Later on, the following pope changed it to Our Lady of the Rosary, but it's the same Our Lady, and it's the same event that caused her to gain that title. But because he wanted to highlight that it was through the praying of the Holy Rosary that something impossible happened. And that's why every year we in the Diocese of Victoria, during this week, Bishop calls us to a time of intense prayer. And tomorrow afternoon, we will begin the Eucharistic Rosary Congress. Throughout this week, in various dioceses, various parishes in our diocese have already started. So the reality is that this week, somewhere in the Diocese of Victoria, there is somebody praying the rosary before the Blessed Sacrament. That's the commitment that all of us parishes make. And for us in Port Lavaca, we've committed ourselves to covering Wednesday, 3 p.m. through Friday, 3 p.m. But literally already now, it started, some parishes started Sunday already. So literally from Sunday to Saturday, this Saturday, someone in this diocese is praying the rosary before the Blessed Sacrament. And then as you saw in the chart, and if you didn't see it in the chart, go look at the chart, there are intentions. There are, I think, 5 intentions specifically that Bishop Cahill wants us to pray for. Of course, you can always add your personal intentions, but these are the diocesan-wide intentions that he wants us to pray for, okay? And so it's very, this is the beauty of being Catholic, is like literally something we're doing in 2025 was affected, came to be by something that happened in 1571. And it's the battle that happened in 1571 is known as the Battle of Lepanto. So if you want to go down a rabbit hole, Google it, look up the Battle of Lepanto. Lepanto. The Battle of Lepanto. You know, and so we saw that under the direction of Pope Pius V, some war that we should not have won, we won through the intercession of Our Lady, through the praying of the Rosary. And so now to this very day, we take that as our example, and our own bishop has asked us to beat down the doors of heaven by praying the Holy Rosary in front of the Blessed Sacrament, interceding for various causes and intentions, okay? And so that's just a little tidbit to get you excited about history. I used to think history was so boring. So hopefully you see that there, as Catholics, it all connects together, okay? So now you can turn to page 10, and I'll turn off some light so that the image is clear on the thing.